Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just wanted to share a little experience that I had not too long ago. And I've been seeing things that have kind of piqued my curiosity over the last few weeks. And today was certainly no exception. As I'm at one of the few places that I tend to randomly select to sit and have a cup of coffee and do my study or research or try to get some other work done, an older Caucasian gentleman comes in and really nondescript, nothing really unusual about him on the surface, and has his his coffee with him. And so I notice him, of course, and as he sits down, he makes a comment about it raining, so I look over my shoulder out the window and see that it's starting to rain a little bit. And after that, pretty non-eventful until I realize the time, and it's time for me to begin making my way to the other side of town to prepare for tonight's class. And as I begin wrapping up my laptop and whatnot, he makes a comment about cell phones and Wi-Fi and all of that, or something like that. And I said, well, it depends on your preference. He then begins, this older white gentleman with an accent that did not sound local, begins to speak to me about independent networks and the benefit of having independent networks. And so I said, well, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm trying to get out of there to make my deadline. And I say, well, if somebody really wants your information, they'll get it. I mean, cyber privacy, the whole thing about cyber privacy is that there's really no such thing. Once it's out there, anybody can get it if they want it. And so then he, went further to say, well, if you had the right kind of a network, you could have it set up to where someone who's trying to track you, in words, you could set it up where they trace you to Texas as opposed to where you're actually sitting. So I'm thinking to myself, this is getting really interesting. So I'm standing up at this point, and I asked him, are you a man of faith? And he said, yes, a Christian. And I said, well, if you are a man of faith, then if you have reason to believe someone is watching you, you're confident that God is watching them, correct? And he said, oh, yeah. Are you a minister or preacher or something? I can't remember which word he used. I said, no, I'm just a student. And he said, oh, student, where do you study or where do you go to school? I said, wherever there's a lesson to be learned. And he said, you sound like me. I'm like, you have a good one. So my whole point in sharing that little experience, brothers and sisters, is the fact that I don't know for a fact why he asked me those questions. But considering the time that we're living in and the seriousness of the time, I would not be surprised. And in fact, I almost am inclined to assume that all of us who in this hour determined to stand with Farrakhan can expect a visit of some type or some sort, or some type of contact, from the machines or a representative thereof to see, in an attempt to get an idea of just who is who, or what exactly or who exactly they are dealing with. So the scripture that comes to mind that I would like to share with all of us is from the Bible. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And then there's another one, and I think 1 Peter, where we are told, be always ready to give an answer to any man who would ask concerning our faith. Because we're going to be questioned, we're going to be confronted, we're going to be asked, and some of us may even be indicted for our faith. So don't worry, just get prepared. May Allah bless us to prepare and to stand in this hour for Him who stands for us, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Peace and love to the believers in God, the believers in truth, freedom, justice, and equality. Assalamu alaikum.